Hello everyone, welcome to the 77th voting video in the Mandela Effect voting video series. We're going to be doing this one a little bit different. I'm going to give a little more information up front as to what Madonna's name has always been in this reality. A lot of people seem to be confused with these voting videos. They think that, oh, well, I can show you what it's always been, and they show me things from this reality. Yeah, I get it. I get it. She was born Madonna Louise Ciccone. I understand that. We're going to hear her say it here herself. Okay, that's not what this phenomenon is about. This phenomenon is about my memory of what her name was. And Madonna was a stage name. Okay, I remember her as Louisa Marie Ciccone. That's what I remember. But I'm going to show you some information here. Please vote. Please comment down below. Madonna Louise Ciccone, born August 16th, 1958. Here she is telling you what her name is, what her birth name was.
Where does the name come from?
Madonna.
When did you select it?
I was named Madonna at birth. It's my mother's name. It's my real name.
Really?
C'est vrai.
Okay, so that was her real name. That was her birth name, Madonna Louise Ciccone. Okay, that's always been her name in this reality. So don't try and prove that she's always been Madonna. And okay, that's fine. If she's always been Madonna for you, please thumb down the video, and that's all you really need to do. If her name was something other than that, I'm going to show you. People remember Maria, Louise, and Louise Veronica, other names, but never Madonna. That was a name I remember her taking that name as like a stage name. You know, I remember her not being born with that name. Okay, I have conscious memories of reality where I was, and that was the case. That was always the case. I liked her music in the early 80s when she came out. As time went on, you know, I stopped listening to that type of music in the 90s or whatever. Even in the 90s, I listened to some of her songs, but I liked her music when it came out. It was very popular, and I remember that being the case. So I'm going to give you some examples here that match my memory. Laura Ingraham, some of you may know her, wrote a book, and she put no amount of yoga and Kabbalah in her 50s will change the fact that Louise Marie Ciccone, or Madge, another name she goes by, or whatever she calls herself now, has had a net negative effect on the culture. So regardless of that, she's saying that, you know, she remembers her with this name. Here's another website. Someone remembers Louisa Marie Ciccone. Signals the start of the end times when she changed her name to Madonna. This person remembers her changing her name to Madonna from this name here, regardless of all the other information. I'm just showing you one person's memory that matches mine. Okay. Here's another one. Eric Heels. He wrote this 13 years ago about Spike Lee suing about TNN wanting to, you know, start Spike TV. So he sued him. Well, if TNN wanted to change its name to Madonna TV, do you think the former Louisa Marie Ciccone would be upset? Well, that's how he remembered her, not by her stage name. So please thumb this up if you remember like I do, something other than a given name or birth name of Madonna, which was her mother's name, and thumb it down if it's always been Madonna. Now here's something else. Remembers a different name than what I remember, but still not a birth name of Madonna. Marilyn Monroe, her birth name was Norma Jean Mortensen, and Madonna, her birth name was Louise Veronica Ciccone. And this is another book. I don't know who wrote it, but I'm just showing you someone else's memory here. Now, there's a lot of information on this timeline someone put together in September, talking about a Maria Louise Ciccone. Now, that's not my memory, but this may be one of those, you know, 3 different timelines or realities crossing over, you know, like Jiff. I can't tell you the amount of people when I did Jiffy videos saying, I remember Jiffy. And they say, no, it's always been Jiff. You're wrong. Well, they're wrong too, because it's always been JIF. So all these people were telling me, no, some line about moms choose Jif. I can't even think of it right now. But anyway, a lot of you probably know what I'm saying. But they type it as Jiff. So there's people who remember JIF, which it's always been in this reality, and then Jiffy. And so just like Cheez-Its. Cheez-It is what it's always been. Cheez-Its, what I remember with an S, and Cheez-Its with a Z. It's what my son remembers, and a lot of other people have told me. So anyway, this talks about different sites. Madonna or Marie Louise Ciccone, life story. Another site here. Just all showing that this was her name. It wasn't Madonna, was not her first name. This is what these people remember. Back in 2009, people were discussing this, arguing about it, talking about her name. There's even a controversy about her real name back in 2009. And then a Bulgarian version of the Wikipedia shows it like this. So anyway, let's go ahead and vote on this one. Comment down below. One last thing I wanted to mention was about the ear ringing. I had mentioned that before. The past 4 days, I've had on and off, mainly on and off yesterday, but it was like for a day or two, it was like almost constant. Whenever I just was in silence and there was no noise or anything, I could just hear this very high pitch, almost some type of frequency that I'm picking up or something, like the planet's frequency change. I don't know. It's odd. Sometimes it gets louder. So please leave comments down below if you're experiencing the same thing, especially the last 4 days. Now, this could be some type of medical issue. I was thinking of going to the doctor, having that checked out. It could be related to blood pressure, tinnitus, and all these different things. So I want to rule that out. But I really do believe that this has something to do with the Mandela effect, because before this whole thing hit me in March, I don't ever remember having ringing of the ears, except every once in a while, once a year or something. Oh, someone's talking about me type thing. Oh, someone must be talking about me. But other than that, never really had it until just this year. So I believe there's a connection. That's just my personal belief. And I've had people talk about it, like when there's a lot of ringing, there'll be a huge shift, and then all of a sudden all these new effects pop up. So I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there as speculation. But yeah, I mean, this here, this doesn't match my memory at all. What the current reality is on this. It's just very bizarre to me and doesn't match my memory. So let's go ahead and vote on this one. I'll talk to everyone soon.